Beautiful. I'm too scared, too scared, too scared. Ryan, how much does it cost to build a pool? This is one of the most frequent questions that I am asked by my clients who are purchasing, whether it's a resale home or a new build home. They also want to know how much is it to, finish their backyard once they're done with the pool. And, there is no definitive answer to that. The answer really is that it depends. So in today's video, we are in my backyard. I've done a lot to it. Now, granted, this is from 2 years ago. I'm gonna go through all the costs that were associated with building this pool as well as this backyard. Hey guys, it's Ryan Meeks with Escape to Arizona and eXp Realty. If you're looking to make a move right here to the great state of Arizona, definitely feel free to reach out, shoot me a text, call, email. On this channel, we talk about all things Arizona, such as how much does it cost to build a pool? How much does it cost to build a basketball court? How much is a lot of different things? How much are homes? How is it to live here? So we go over all of these items right here on my channel. So make sure to reach out if you guys have any questions. Click that subscribe button if you feel like you're getting value from this video. Okay, so first of all, many apologies. If you guys can see, I'm sweating a little bit here. It is a little bit humid. We are at the end of August, so some of that monsoon rain has come down and is providing a little bit of humidity here in Arizona, which is usually a dry heat. So my apologies, might see some pit stains. Anyways, I want to share with you guys sort of what we did, how we came up with this design idea for our backyard. And this is really what I think is step number one. So step number one is going to be taking a Google Earth image, or what I did is use a drone. Now, obviously not everybody has a drone. Maybe call a friend with a drone. Get some good aerial footage of your home. I would say from basically where Google Earth is, up in the sky, get a picture down. And then from there, you can go on something like Photoshop or even Canva, or maybe even hire somebody from Fiverr. I think that might be a good idea. Try to design your pool, maybe just draw it out, print a sheet of paper, draw it out, and get a good idea of how you want the yard laid out. Now, what I knew with this yard is that I wanted to have a basketball court. It's been my dream since I was a kid. I mean, who wouldn't? I grew up with Michael Jordan in the 90s and absolutely loved basketball. So I basically built the yard around this basketball court, and of course we knew that we wanted to have the pool over to my left over here. So those were the two big starting items that we kind of created the rest of the yard around. So after you kind of have a good design laid out on Photoshop, what I would do is get with a pool builder. From there, they can come and custom design everything, give you ideas that maybe you haven't thought of. Now, I do have links below. If you guys are interested in the pool builder I used, he was able to mock up my entire backyard for free. And it's one of the reasons I went with him, because all these other companies wanted like $500. And then we had one other company that gave us some plans and they were absolute crap. So this guy spends hours on designing your backyard with the risk that you may not go with him. But rather than spend $500, click the link below. If you guys are interested, we'll send all that information to you. So I would say that is step number two if you want to get your backyard done. Have them lay it out. Now, one thing I'm asked a lot is how much does it cost if you're purchasing a resale home to get rid of everything in the yard, start from scratch? So it cost us $10,000 to get our entire yard leveled and all of the trees taken out. I had just gigantic trees in this yard. It was absolutely insane. This yard was like a jungle, and that's one of the reasons why we ended up doing our yard, is because the upkeep was just so crazy with all the grass, all the trees, everything involved. So that cost $10,000 to get this entire backyard pool ready. All right, so first of all, I just want to give a disclaimer to you guys. This was back in 2021. This pool is now 2 years old, maybe like 1 3/4 years old, but this is going to be a lot more expensive. I can't tell you exactly what the percentages are, maybe 10, maybe 15% more than what I paid back in 2021. Once again, don't quote me on those percentages, guys, but just kind of want to throw that disclaimer out. This project was actually started back in 2020, in October of 2020. Should I take my shoes off? Oh, beautiful. I'm too scared, too scared, too scared. So first things first, how big is this pool? Why did we go with a rectangular pool? Well, the pool itself is 45 feet by 22 feet end to end. We did get a large Baja shelf right here, which I love. It's 6 inches deep. I definitely recommend that depth. Now, what we did with our pool that's a little bit different is I guess it's called a play pool. So we went from 3.5 feet down to 5 feet and then up to 4 feet. Teresa really wanted to swim laps, You know, the funny thing is, I haven't seen her swim one lap this year since it's been swimmable. So yeah, we got a longer pool so she can swim laps. I've swam maybe 3, so if you're gonna swim laps, I mean, if you're dedicated to it, get a longer pool. If not, your pool does not have to be this long. So 45 feet by 22 feet, and it's 29,000 gallons. Okay, so basically for this size of the pool, it's gonna be $45,000. So that was the base price of this pool after we had basically given them the amount of gallons that the pool's gonna be, the perimeter, as well as the length and the width of the pool. Now, how much was it to actually excavate this pool? Well, it was $2,963. The great thing about that is that it included if it was too hard. So let's say they hit some big chunk of rock and they had trouble with it, you weren't going to get charged any extra. And in the same token, if it was a super easy dig that only took a day, well, you weren't going to get a discount on it. So $2,963 is how much it cost to have that excavated. And it took about 2 days. Whew, it is warm. So this is called an aerator, by the way. This is what you're gonna run in order to cool down the pool. You wanna run it at night typically, and it's gonna keep your pool not feeling like a hot tub in the summer. So little tip there for you guys. What I wanna tell you about is the cleaning and the maintenance options we have on this pool. So what's unique about our pool is that we have an in-floor cleaning system, and we also have a vacuum. We can actually run both of these at the same time. And what you'll notice with a lot of pool builders is they'll only let you, they'll plumb it so that you can either only have the in-floor cleaning system working or the vacuum working. So I'm able to run both. Right now the vacuum's running. I like having the vacuum on because it gets those big items like leaves and everything, doesn't go into your filter. So that maintenance package between the plumbing for the in-floor cleaning system and for the vacuum costs $5,972. So add that to the base price of the pool. Okay, so all the equipment that you see here, we have a cartridge cleaner, we have 2 pumps, and then we also have a heater. We have a blowing system right here, which is gonna blow to the hot tub, and that's a separate cost. But all of this equipment here basically costs $6,024. 2 pumps. Pumps are gonna run you roughly $2,500, and a heater, $3,500. Now, once again, disclaimer, those prices may have gone up slightly, but that is all the equipment back here, $6,024. Also makes a great place to store your floaties and whatnot back here. So because the pool was so freaking big, we had to get 2 skimmers. Now, what's a skimmer? Well, that's this little thing right here. This is your little skimmer basket that basically picks up all the leaves in the pool. And so we had to get 2 of these. So the extra cost, after running all the plumbing and all that jazz, cost an extra $1,634. And what that line item says is it says total hydraulic options. So that was just another thing that we had to pay for because the pool was so large. And you can see these costs are starting to add up here. So right behind me, it's called a shear descent, but it's basically a water feature. Now that was $1,327, basically to put it in, run all the plumbing to it, and make it work. Once again, guys, super hot out here. I'm sweating it up. So I want to tell you about the electrical. So to run the electrical, everything that was needed from basically the junction boxes over by the pool equipment out to the pool was $1,927. Now that included 3 color changing LED lights that we have. And I absolutely love those because you can program them. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that in a second. But electrical for this pool, $1,927. So the Baja shelf that you see right here with the stairs, that was a little bit extra, so they charged us $440 extra to make this piece of art right here. We wanted to do something magical, so we got a slide, and that slide was $15,850. It was something unique that actually the pool creator came up with. His name's Matt, by the way. So he came up with this. It's something custom that he built through his program, and they really brought it to life. My kids absolutely love the slide. So that was $15,850. And another thing I want to tell you guys about is this program that we have. So if you're getting a newer pool, it should be automated. It should all be hooked up to your phone. We do have the Hayward system, so I absolutely love it. I find that that is a lot easier to use, by the way, than the Pentair version. So depending on which pool builder you use, they will have either Hayward or Pentair products. Now, I can shut off the slide right now if I wanted to. I can change different colors of the lights, and then I can also automate these sequences so that I can just set and forget. So every night at 7 o'clock, we have all the lights that come on once it starts to get dark. And then we even have those programmed to different modes like party mode. We'll have the slide come on automatically. So a lot of different things that you can set up with this system, and it's called OmniLogic by Hayward. All right, so right here you will see that we are plumbed for gas. So gas is not cheap to run here. In order to run gas everywhere, that was $2,783. So we ran it here for a future fireplace if we wanted to do a fireplace. And then obviously it's gonna have to run to our spa/hot tub, which I'll tell you guys about in a little bit. So one thing that's a really deciding factor on how your pool is going to look is the tile that you purchase. Now our tile costed $1,025. That's the tile that goes around the pool, and it's also within the hot tub, so it really stands out when you look at the hot tub. Now you can choose smaller tile, that's going to be a little more expensive. The company we went with did have a limited supply of tile, and I think that the reason they had a limited supply is just because they wanted to keep things simple, get through pools a lot faster than their competitors. But the option that we went with was really cool. We went with a gray tile, and I think it looks really elegant. We were thinking about going with sort of a black kind of crazy tile, and we would have definitely regretted that. So the smaller tile you can get, I think the better it's going to look. If you get, just the square, larger tile, it's going to be a little bit easier for the person installing it. Probably going to be a little bit less labor intensive, less in cost. But I think if I had to do it over again, I would have gone with some smaller tiles, maybe even some cool circular tiles going around the pool. But that did cost $1,025. Now, one thing I think is really important is the color of your PebbleTech. Our PebbleTech costs, by the way, $4,992. That is the finish that you see on top of the shotcrete, okay? So that is going to be the finished product of your pool. We went with a lighter color, and the reason behind that was obviously our kids are a little bit younger. We want to be able to see if they are down in the water. So this is going to provide this, I believe it's called ice white. It's going to provide the clearest option for you to see who is in the pool, because we're in Arizona, and you know what? Unfortunately, there are things like drownings and accidents that do happen, and you just want to be able to see in the water. Now, a lot of people I know have the more blue color, and I'll tell you what, it's very difficult to see if people are in that pool. So we went with the white. I think it was a great choice. I think it's a classic finish, and it looks great, and it holds up really well. One thing we went with, as you can see all around, is this travertine tile. And I think travertine tile is a classic look. We had the option of doing porcelain as well, which are basically just porcelain square tiles next to each other. That's something else that this company does, but I'm glad we went with the travertine. Now, this cost $30,000, and we even had to pay a little bit extra because we did a little extra in some areas. We got about 2,000 square feet of travertine, so we went pretty crazy with the decking in the back here. And as you can see, they match the coping on the hot tub and on the pool to the travertine decking. So travertine, overall cost, $30,000. Now, as you can see, we have a lot of turf here. We have like these two triangle areas, and what I love about this is we'll set up some bags over here, we'll set up some bags over there, and the total cost for this was quoted at $13,252. But for some reason, I got sort of an expense at the end of everything for another $6,000. Apparently, they had to buy more turf and install more turf. I guess they had sort of undermeasured, or whatever you want to call it. I'm honestly still not clear about exactly what happened there. So the total cost for turf was just under $20,000 at about $19,254. Now, some of you may think it's crazy to have a hot tub here in these hot Arizona days when you're sweating like I am, but these come in real handy from about the end of November through, I would say, like even early May. So we absolutely love having this hot tub. I think it's my favorite thing about this entire pool. I'll use it probably 4 or 5 times a week in the winter months. And this cost $9,432 at the time. It's 6 feet by 8 feet, and you could probably fit about, maybe like 7, 8 people in here comfortably, but it's something I absolutely love. And there is a light in here, so you can put it on party mode and, have those late night bashes. So this has always been a dream of mine. I'm super blessed that I was able to, to get this. I mean, I'm still paying for it, I'll be honest with you. But this basketball court was about $38,000. Now, you can also you can see here I have sort of what's called Rhino Court plastic tiles on it. Now you can also just get cement with rebar, and then they can paint the acrylic on top of this, okay? And that's gonna cost about the same amount of money. There's really no difference. The reason I went this route is because my son plays hockey, and I thought it would be a little bit of a better material for him to skate on. Now, going back, I may have just got the acrylic, because this, as you can see, is wearing out a little bit with the lines and stuff. So, but who knows how the acrylic would have held up in this heat either. No promises there. So yeah, this court, about $38,000, and the dimensions are 36 feet by 60. Okay, so this is my spot over here. This is my little chill area, and that's my office right here. So I got a nice slider put in here. By the way, that sliding door, labor and the actual door, $1,500 if you're looking to convert a window to a slider. So I really love that I can just walk out of my office and then boom, I'm hit with this cool little hangout area. So what I wanted to tell you guys is that this awning right here, so this is something called Alumawood, okay? And very popular. I was able to get it for $20 a square foot. Now that's a pretty good deal. I think right now you're gonna be looking at like $30 a square foot, possibly even more, like $35 per square foot. So total cost of this pergola and then the one that we have over here was $7,000. And yeah, I should have had these on the entire video. That way I would not be sweating as much as I am. But we did have misters professionally installed. Now I did see some options online where I could probably do it myself for $3,000. But after paying $7 grand for these awnings, I definitely didn't want to see myself drilling holes into the side of them. I mean, I'm pretty good at construction items, but I'm not that good. So these misters to install were $5,700, and I have that gentleman's name down in the link below if you guys are looking for it, but they turned out real nice. He services them twice a year for me, flushes them out, and we absolutely love having misters and being able to enjoy the outdoor Arizona weather in the summer when you should really be inside. So an added expense I almost forgot about. These things are gonna come up throughout the duration of your build. Maybe your pool builder's like, tells you something at the beginning, but then something changes that's out of their control. So one thing was that we needed a retaining wall right here. So this retaining wall was an extra $4 grand. And then the guy doing the lights tried to charge me $100 a light. I was able to get him down on that, but that was a little bit crazy. But I did save money doing the electrical myself. I just took an electric cord, ran all around the landscaping here. So that saved me $2,000, but this retaining wall here was $4,000. And another thing not included in that quote, guys, was the landscaping package. So that was an extra $6,000 to have basically PVC pipes ran all the way around the yard, and then also to have all of these plants put in, and then the rock. This is 5 tons of river rock that they had to put back here. So very labor intensive, so we paid an extra $6,000 for that, not included in our initial pool build price. And a few other things that we added after this was all done. So these pavers that you see below, I've always wanted to have some extra pad for parking in the front. So this actually runs into the front yard. We have an extra pad for our car to park on, so that's great. And then it just kind of finishes it out. You know, this used to all be rock right here, so it looks really nice now. I think it's a pretty seamless transition from the travertine to the brick. I'm not complaining, some other people might complain, but I think it looks really nice. And then this pergola that you see above me was actually like $2,800 at Costco, but you'll not believe it. I was at Costco staring at that price tag like, man, that is a lot of money. And then all of a sudden somebody came up, switched the price tag, they worked there for Costco, by the way, to $1,200. So I got this bad boy for $1,200, and then I paid someone $800 to install it, including the footers and everything, because I wasn't gonna take that chore on. This thing actually sat here for months, not being worked on. So it's all coming together. I think the yard is pretty much done. If you guys tallied up that total, you know, send me an email or something. I don't really like to think about it, but it did cost a lot of money to do our yard. And that's the thing, if you're moving to Arizona and you want to have a killer backyard, it is going to cost you. We covered a lot of ground here, but there are really some elements, I think, to any pool build that you shouldn't skip out on. So watch this video right here where I talk about the 5 must-haves for your new pool build.